Okay, here we go. Well, welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
I'm treacherous Trista.
And joining us once again here for part 2 is dastardly Dee Wallace.
That's my new nickname, eh?
Exactly. We appreciate you doing this again.
Yeah, well, deja vu. Does everybody know what happened?
No, I don't think so. If you want to let them know or make up a better
why
story.
I'm in a different why we're all in different outfits is that we had almost finished the last interview, and the tree trimmers that were here dropped a big old log on all the wires and cut the internet and cut everything. We couldn't finish it. So so this is just proof that we can all look great on 2 days.
Exactly. A little secret, a couple times when Tristan and I will record 2 interviews on the same day, we usually switch shirts in between. So it looks like they've done it.
Yeah, know that trick well.
Oh, Troy is here with us now as well, the terrible one.
Hi, Troy. Here we are.
Actually predicted he was last week, the week before. He said, "I hope it wasn't the neighbors cutting down the trees." I'm not sure.
You were right on.
You had that poor 10 early when you were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh man, I just had that vision of it."
Yep, that's exactly what happened. They cut a big log and it dropped and brought down both wires.
Oh, yeah, nothing else, so it didn't hit the house or anything.
No.
All right, good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I saw on your social media, on your Facebook page, that you're going to be part of the Hollywood Museum Squares.
Yes.
Part of it, maybe.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
What is? I guess it's like Hollywood Squares, but is that the Hollywood Museum or?
Well, it's the Hollywood Museum's rendition of a Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. They did. Okay.
Oh, good. That'll be fun.
Of Hollywood Squares. Yeah.
I guess you can't spoil if you want or not. Well, I guess you don't win. You'd be were you center square?
No. I had to think for a minute. No, it was not the center square. And give me a script and let me get into a part and I'm great, but all those funny, and of course I'm on with all these comedians, right?
Oh.
A little out of my element, but it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. I tried to be cute and darling anyway, so.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you did a good job. Yeah. You have that nailed, the cute and charming part.
Hey, you probably beat out Gilbert Gottfried on that one, I
think. He's a sweetie, Gilbert.
Was he there at this thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not in the one I did.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to ask last time. I want to ask was about Rob Zombie, and was it Lords of Salem the first time you worked with Rob Zombie?
God, let me think. I've done 4 things with Rob now.
So might have been
I think there was something before Lords of Salem. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I remember Lords of Salem because it's kind of a polarizing movie, but it's actually one of my favorite Rob Zombie movies. And yeah. I love the 3 witches, you and Meg Foster and Patricia Quinn.
Thank you. Yeah. We had a lot of fun doing it. But you always have fun when you work with Rob. He's just low key, kind of lets you go wherever you want to go. I mean, we do it around a script. And then he says, all right, everybody bring in your own shit. And then we just have fun. And it's so freeing for an actor to be given the permission, I guess, to do that.
Had you worked with Patricia Quinn or Meg Foster before that?
Oh, I've worked with Maggie. Sure, she and I are friends, but I'd never worked with Patricia. No.
I know part of the movie was filmed in Salem. Were any of your parts filmed in Salem?
No, I didn't go to Salem.
I've been there because I'm in Massachusetts, and we actually found some of the locations that the movie was filmed at.
Oh yeah, I think of the witches, Meg was the only one that went.
Yeah. And how about working with Sherry Moon? Sherry Moon's on.
Oh, she is just the sweetest person. She and I had a great time working together, you know, and as a couple, she brings him his health food shake and his vitamins every morning on the set. It's so cute. So cute. They just are so deeply in love after all this time. And it's just really, really lovely. I love both of them.
And she plays a much different character in Three from Hell.
Yeah.
And so do you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that Three from Hell is when I got to do most of my work with Sherry. Yeah. A lot of people don't even know that's me.
Yeah, it's true. It's such a different character for you.
Yeah.
I would take that as a compliment.
Absolutely. There was a critic that called Rob and said, I'm reviewing the film and I really love it, but did you cut Dee Wallace? Because her name's in here, but I don't see her in the movie. And Rob said he wrote back, oh, she's in there. Look again, you'll find her. And I thought that's a great compliment. Because when he sent me the script, I wrote him back and I went, Rob, I want to do this character, but I can't do her looking like me. I got to dye my hair. Can I have some glasses? I don't want to wear any makeup at all, except, you know, darkening under my eyes or something. I want to look like shit. And he wrote back and he said, okay. Okay, that was his response. And we came up with a great look for her.
Mm-hmm.
Uglier than hell, but it suited her.
Yeah, it suits movie Three from Hell. Yeah. Now I know it's Sid Haig's last role. Did you know him very well from the conventions or anything?
Oh yeah, Sid and I were good friends. Big loss to the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, a big part of Without Your Head, he was our first guest on the show and helped me out.
Really?
Yeah.
And such a smart man.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. And I was just like, oh no. And he was the nicest guy.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. Yeah. Just a sweetheart. And I know they didn't want to put it out a lot. I wanted to go see him in the hospital, but they weren't allowing anybody in. And, you know, they kept putting out, he's okay, he'll be home. But the inside knowing was that he was really not going to recover from this. So
yeah,
big loss for all of us.
He was doing conventions right up till he really couldn't, and I think it was as he, you know, he liked to meet the fans. You could tell whenever you're around him.
Loved to meet the fans. Would hang out in the bars after the convention and talk to everybody and schmooze. And yeah, I get finished with the day and I go, I'm going to my room. I'm having a glass of wine and dinner and crashing. I mean, it's, you know, if you do it right, it takes a lot of energy to do the cons. If you really connect with people and talk and schmooze, I love doing them because I love meeting the fans.
Yeah. And you'll be going back to the conventions here coming up soon.
Next week.
Oh, very soon.
To Vegas to do Days of the Dead.
Very good.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Trista, do you have a question?
I do. You've played so many characters and a wide range of characters. I'm wondering if there's any sort of characters that you have an itch to play that you haven't been able to yet.
That's a great question. I have always wanted to play a tormented nun. And
Wow.
I just got an offer
Really? Those are very
for a
specific.
movie
No, yeah, that's really a specific thing.
where I play a tormented nun.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
good
excellent.
creating, huh?
Yeah, you manifested this.
Yep.
I did for sure.
Well, that's very
So-
good. And we're all looking forward to seeing that eventually.
Well, I've got, I think 4 movies coming out, and or maybe they've gotten distribution and you can find them online. I don't know. Now that everything's opening back up and things are being bought and sold again, I have to track all of them down. 13 Fanboy has a lot of hype behind it on the internet.
Mhm.
And I think there's some really interesting work in it from a lot of people. So I'm anxious to see that.
When you were first approached to that, what did you think? Because it is what's considered a fan film, but it's got like a budget behind it and a lot of people in it. It's different than what we used to think of as a fan.
Well, I read the script and I went, I can't believe that somebody hasn't come up with this idea before. That the actual actors that are playing the roles are being stalked. And, I just thought it was an idea who was way overdue in the horror genre. So I think it's going to be really good, but I haven't seen it.
Right.
So
And you said about buzz. I mean, that's really a movie that's word of mouth on the internet. People talking about and sharing it, and it's really help. That's where all the buzz come from.
well, and Deborah Voorhees directed it, and I just adore her.
Mhm.
Just love her. Sweet, sweet lady, knows what she's doing. Great to work with. It was a really nice experience for me.
Was she somebody that you met at the conventions? Or how did you get to know Deborah?
Deborah, no, I didn't really meet her. Where did I meet her the first time? But she also had a real connection with my agent. They're good friends. And so that's really how she got a hold of me this time.
Oh, very cool. And we didn't talk about last time too much, but could you tell everyone about your website, imdwallace.com, and what can people expect when they go there?
Well, not the horror movies.
Right.
My whole website is dedicated to the other side of Dee, which is all my healing work. I'm a clairaudient channel. And I do webinars. I have a talk show every Sunday where people can call in for free and ask any questions about any blocks they have, why they can't create something that they're trying to create. Do private sessions all over the world now. And that's imdwallace.com. You'll find out a whole other side of Dee Wallace.
It's very interesting. Does that happen a lot though? Someone will know you from movies, and then they'll go to your website and see this different side of you. And is there ever the other reverse of that? People who know you from the website and then go and watch your movies, and they maybe.
No, I think everybody knows me from my movies first, and then they, and the press always tries to get me. How can you be a healer when you do all these horror films? I said, look, guys, not so far apart as you may seem. I spend half my life doing films about fear and the other half of my life teaching people how to heal themselves from fear. So the two worlds kind of coincide and overlap, really.
Mm-hmm. Last time when we talked about a lot of your roles, you play someone, you get sympathy. You can see this, you get sympathy watching. So what was it like playing the villain in the Rob Zombie movies?
Oh, I loved it. I really like playing all those characters and colors that I find within myself. I mean, The Frighteners was a really interesting movie for me too, because the first part of it, I played this simpy little victim who then morphs back into who she used to be, which is this vicious killer. So I have a lot of fun as an actor playing all the different kinds of emotional things that are within all of us, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I'm just reading the chat room. A lot of people are saying they're glad to see you here, and we'll get to a few of the questions here in a minute. Do you have a question, Trista?
Yes, I'm a huge Howling fan, so I have to ask what it was like working with Joe Dante.
With whom?
Joe Dante?
Oh, Joe Dante. Oh, well, Joe and I are good friends. And look, to work with Joe is to go to work and never know what to expect, except a lot of fun. You know, he knows exactly what he wants. And like, I don't know if I told you this the last time, all of the cartoons and all of the old clips and everything, Joe paid for himself because the studio wouldn't cough up the money. And it really elevates the film. And to watch he and Rob Bottin work together was pretty amazing. I adore Joe. I know it sounds like I adore everybody, but not so much. But people were talking about, yeah.
Nicholas just mentions he loves your hair and your Southern accent in 3 from Hell, which we talked about a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I mean, I just couldn't see the prison guard looking like this, right? With the little blonde hair and all that. So I love that Rob trusts me enough as an artist to hear my concept and then run with it. He did the same thing in Lords of Salem too. He's a real actor's director.
Madeline Deering wants to know, what was Jill Sholin like to work with on Popcorn?
Well, that was one hell of a long time ago. But I remember Jill as being very sweet. I don't think I actually had tons of work with her, but Jill and I communicate, you know, even now via email and stuff. Let me tell you, Popcorn was a freaking nightmare to shoot. They took us to Jamaica, and the theater where most everything happens was an old abandoned theater that a lot of homeless people lived in. So you walked in and were knocked over by the smell of urine, first of all. And I think twice they lost their financing. We didn't know if we were going to finish the film. If I remember this correctly, it was twice. But again, you know, working with the other actors was awesome, except I got there to do the scene where I'm in that full body cast. And they went, okay, Dee, well, we are going to have to wrap you. So do you want to, can you stand up for that? I went, okay, let's think this through. How am I going to pee? Oh, yeah. I said, guys, I got to get a way to get out of this. First of all, I'm claustrophobic. Second of all, we're going to be shooting all day in this. You know, they just hadn't thought it through. So they made it, and they made it with hinges so I could get out of it, and then everything was great. But we lost a little time that day because no way could I have stayed in that thing for 12 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Had anything like that ever come up before or since about being claustrophobic and being, you know, inside if you're filming somewhere in a small area?
You know, I was never claustrophobic until I did the film in Poland that I did with my husband. And a couple of scenes, they filmed way down in the salt mines.
Mm-hmm.
So there were about 15 of us. And they said, okay, well, we're going to take you down in the elevator. Well, the elevator was made out of wood. It was an open air shaft, like you would load goods down in, not people. And somebody's doing this, right?
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And so we get about halfway down, and all of a sudden the thing goes whoop, and all the lights go out. I'm the only one that speaks English. Everybody is yelling in Polish. And this went on for like what seemed to me like 20 minutes or a half hour. By the time I got to the bottom, I was freaking hysterical. And Christopher, my husband, was already down there shooting. And they went to get him, and they said, we don't know what to do with Dee. She's like hysterical. And they told him what happened. And he went, oh shit, man, she got really bad claustrophobia. So he came up and he said, Dee, pop her. He was calling pop her. And I was screaming and crying, and he just hauled off and walked me across the face.
Wow.
And I looked at him and I went, well, that's the fucking last time you'll ever do that, dude. But it brought me out of it, didn't it? Oh my God, just to think of that makes me a little right now. That was pretty crazy. The whole shoot was pretty crazy.
Had you any injuries in any of the movies?
Oh, please. Everything I've done.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, I do have done most of my stunts in my, like I flew in the Frighteners. When I broke the window in Cujo, I wasn't supposed to be able to break the window. So I slipped my arm. I had so many injuries on Cujo anyway, bumps and bruises, and you know, it just comes with the territory when you're doing that kind of film. But I think I think it's the emotional bruises and bumps that in most of my films are the hardest. Takes a while to bring yourself out of it and get back to balanced place, you know.
Is there anything you do to get into that? You know, not necessarily get into that role, but to prepare for that.
I have a very specific technique that I use. It's much different than a lot of actors. Charles Conrad was my mentor, and he taught us, it's kind of loosely based on Meisner, but not really. I don't, the way Charles taught it. And you get your energy sky high, and what Charles called, you throw your energy toward the person or the scene you're working with. Most actors hold their energy back here and kind of watch what they're doing. They pull out from the back. And what that does really is it allows you to open a channel So when I became a channeler, I went, oh my God, I've done this in my acting my whole career. Who knew? But I mean, things in class would happen, like we weren't allowed to ever do a piece of material that we had seen or that we had done before. And I was, I don't know, a half a page into this scene that I was doing in class, and Charles said, Deanna Dee Wallace. And you knew when he used your whole name, you were LOL. So I said, Charles, what? He said, you know you're not supposed to do a scene that you've ever done before you've seen. I said, Charles, I swear to you, I don't know what this is from. I've never seen it before. He said, then why are you limping? Because she's crippled. And stuff would happen in acting class like that every week because we were just bringing in information. And that's kind of how I work. I don't break anything down. I don't look for beats. I don't think, you know, what are other people saying about me? Or if I can just stand there and let her take me over, I'm home free. It's kind of magical, actually.
Mm-hmm. Is there, I would assume sometimes that's easier, or not maybe easier, but sometimes that would happen quicker than others. What do you do if you just can't, you know, find that character?
I don't find the character finds me. And it always happens. It's just always, if I get out of the way, you know, Three from Hell, the scene in Three from Hell, when I go in, we've kind of thrown baby to the wolves and we think these two other guards are going to rip her to pieces. And I come back in to see their handiwork. And of course, she has killed both of them. And they brought me in at the last moment to pick that scene up. And so they threw me in makeup and I walked on, and Rob said, okay, well, we're adding this. And he does this a lot. I love this about him. He sees what he's got and then he goes, oh, I need to extend that a little bit, right? And he said, so it's a continuation of this and you come in and she's killed everybody. All right, are we ready? And went, wait a minute. Just give me a minute, right? Because I didn't even know what scene I was doing. And I stood there and I took a couple of deep breaths. And all of a sudden, that character just took me over. And it went the opposite way of where, if I had tried to figure it out and break it down, because your mental mind goes, oh my God, you're horrified. And what are you going to do? Oh, no. Where she took me was, you fucking bitch. Oh, would I like to screw you right now? I mean, it was the craziest moment that happened. And I hear Cut and Rob goes, Jesus Christ, where does this shit come from? You know, but it's so much fun to literally have those moments happen to you while the camera's rolling, you know. In Halloween's the first thing I did with Rob.
Okay.
When he'd say, okay, everybody just bring in your best stuff, whatever you want to do. It was unbelievable. I mean, that whole thing about fucking the bagel, that was all improv. Scout said something and then I don't know, we just ran with everything. It was crazy. And let me tell you, I have never, ever in all my films combined had as much blood on me as I did. And they took a bug sprayer and went like this all over me. That's crazy.
I love it. Tristan, you have another question?
I do. Your technique is so interesting to me, and it's not one I'm familiar with. You mentioned taking a few deep breaths. I'm wondering if breath work is a part of accessing that channel where you get inspiration from.
I think breath work opens up your channel, whether you're channeling as a healer or your channel as a person when you meditate. You know, breath work is kind of a standard in most practices. And now that I'm studying brain science a lot, I have the information that when you do deep breathing like that, it literally opens up your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve extends all the way down to your back, and it communicates then with all your organs and tissues and stuff. So why that's important in creating your life, see, you have to try and follow my brain here. Now I'm over into the healing world. Why that's important is that every thought and feeling you have has an electrical charge that goes out into the universe, and the universe matches it and sends it back to you as a reality. So it's really important to send those messages down your vagus nerve to flood your organs and everything so that you can send the positive, powerful frequencies out into the universe. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you and more than that. You're so interesting. I could listen to you talk for so long. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jennifer and Missy in the chat room say that they love your scenes with Sherry, and they're both fans of Sherry. And
Yeah, me too.
Missy also wants to know, what was it like? Any stories work on Critters, and also revisiting the Critters world when you did one of the later sequels?
Well, of course, I have a lot of stories from Critters, but mostly a lot of the critters weren't finished. Like the big critter in our movie, you only see the eyes come up in the window because they really hadn't finished them. Boy, when they finished them, were they magnificent too. But my fondest memory of doing Critters is we'd be in all these emotional, highly emotional scenes, and then we'd hear somebody go, okay, roll them in. Everybody's standing off to the side, rolling the things across camera, right? It was pretty crazy. And when they called me to do Critters Attack, my first question to them was, are you doing it with the puppets or are you doing it with CGI? Because if they were doing it with CGI, I wouldn't have done it. I just think the fans want the real stuff,
I agree.
You know? And so I read the script. Unfortunately, two of the really great scenes that I loved, by the time I got down there, they couldn't shoot because of time and money and all kinds of different things. But I'm just saying, if you have a chance to do a film and you like the film and it shoots in Cape Town, South Africa, it's a no-brainer. You go. You know, Cape Town, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
When you're on location for a movie, do you get a chance to see the area, or is it mostly you're just there?
Depends on the movie. Depends on the movie and how much time you have off. But yeah, usually you get to see some of it. They brought me down early so I could get over, because it's a really long trip, and you get hit pretty hard with jet lag. And I had a wonderful, wonderful guy. We're still friends. We email and text a lot. Who my handler, I guess, who took care of me, and just such a sweet guy. And we would often go to dinner together. And he took me on this beautiful drive where it looked like hundreds of people were out parasailing and floating. And and the restaurants in Cape Town are to die for. So, and we just had a lot of fun, a lot of good actors. And if you haven't seen Critters Attack, go to Sci-Fi and check it out. It's a fun little visit back to the, Critters anthology.
Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate you coming back and doing this.
You bet, guys.
And we look forward to you as a nun and all your future projects.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody look out for a movie called The Knicks that I just did. Anthony Ferrante directed it, who did all the Sharknadoes. He's a buddy of mine.
He's been on the show,
yeah.
And it's pretty out there. I think it was the hardest character I've played since Cujo.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty out there. So I have no idea, we literally just finished it. So, but
Look forward to that then.
You can put it in your pipeline anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're out on the West Coast, you can make it to Vegas next week. You can see Dee at Days of the Dead.
Woohoo! Yeah, we got to get those conventions back on, guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long dry spell.
I
miss them.
From seeing my fans. I didn't like it.
Yeah. I get my second vaccination next week. So
good for you. Mm-hmm. You are promoting that to all your listeners, I'm hoping.
Yep. Troy already has his second.
Yep. I'm all set.
She's got her Band-Aid.
Yep. Get vaccinated, guys. I know from the channel, and I know from studying, my brother was very connected to the CDC when he was alive. And go get vaccinated. Help us all out.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah. Help us get back to normal.
Yep.
You bet.
We really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dee, thank you so much.
Thanks for your understanding, guys. I'm so happy we got the last part of it done.
Yeah.
And now you know why we're all in different outfits.
Right. We're going to start doing that for all the shows. We're going to go to break and then
we'll show up.
Wardrobe.
Well, that's what they do at the Oscars and everything. Everybody goes back and puts on a new freaking dress. So anyway, everybody have a great night.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
See you soon, guys.
Glad everyone made it here too, Tristan, Troy. And
yes, good to see everybody.
We'll be back next week. All right.
Yep. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.